Hello, this is Michael at My Crooked Road Homestead. Hope everyone's getting along all right today. Well, it's a whopping 1 degree outside. The snow's finished up and the sun's out. I don't know if you can see out that. It's not showing up on this camera, but I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, as you can see, looking over at my stove, you can see my stove is running. She's doing just like she's supposed to be doing. Once you look up here, my temperature in here is right at around 79 degrees. Tell you what, that little rocket stove is getting a workout. You know, I've been trying to make these rocket stoves as best as I can, and this one is an unbeatable one. It's putting out, I would say around 450 to 500 degrees right now as we're sitting here, as I'm sitting here. And I'm just real happy with it. It's really surpassed my expectations. So I'm real happy with it. But that's not what I have you here for today. I wanted to show you. As you remember, I don't know if you remember back or saw the video where I built my little stand for my little electric chainsaw so I could cut branches and logs and whatever. Well, the little electric saw is a little Remington 10-inch Remington electric chainsaw. Well, anyway, the little saw, the plastic gears in it stripped out. So I didn't know what I was going to do. But I came up with this. And what it is, it's a chainsaw adapter that'll fit onto a grinder. And as you look down here, this is the grinder. It's a Delta Master from Harbor Freight. It turns 10,000 RPMs. So that I'll be able to run this chainsaw adapter. And the way it bolts up to it is right here. This right here. It fits around the neck on this grinder. And then you tighten it down. And then the chain goes up and goes into my little sawdust chute that I have in the front that I made out of a can. Made it out of a can right here. This is my chute. And then that bucket there fits over that, and that's what catches my sawdust. Here's the chain. But the problem was, and I knew this when I ordered this kit, because it said it was a 10 millimeter, and I knew that the shaft on this grinder was bigger than 10 millimeters. So I ordered some other sprockets, and I've got them coming. But here's the sprocket that came with it, and it's only a 10 millimeter. So I'm waiting on the new sprocket to get here. But it's working out good, and I know it's going to work out. I know that it's going to cut, and I don't have to worry about any thing stripping out on it, because there's only two moving parts on this now. It's not like on that little electric saw that I had, that chainsaw that I had. It's totally different because it doesn't have any plastic parts in it. It's all metal. As you can see, this sprocket here, it's metal. You know, it's heavy duty. So, and that's what fits onto the grinder, and then your chain goes on that. So that's the only two things you got moving on the whole saw. And there's no way that it can strip out. If anything's going to quit, it's going to be the grinder. It's going to conk out, but the grinders aren't that expensive. And for what I use this for, what I'm doing is I'm cutting my sumac. I'm cutting all this sumac back out off my place on this 2.5 acres that I have to the east of me that I've done nothing with. Well, this year, one of my New Year's resolutions was that I was going to get that all cleaned up and have it look like the rest of my property. So that's what I use this little stand for, and to cut up that sumac so I can burn it in my rocket stove. But and out there in our fire pit that we have outside. Well, the way that I mounted this onto this before, when I had my chainsaw, my little chainsaw, I just had it screwed directly to the frame. You took some sheet metal screws and screwed them in onto the base of the chainsaw. Well, on this, what I did was I took and added this wooden block right here. Added this wooden block, and you look, I've got this hole over here and this hole over here, and then I countersunk them, and I got sheet metal screws in that, and that's what's holding this block of wood onto this stand. And then I took and I drilled me a hole here. This right here is the little wrench that I have to use to, if I want to tighten this chain, well, I have to use this to loosen these screws up so that I can use this knob to tighten the tension on the chain. So I drilled me a hole in here to keep this tool in there where I wouldn't lose it. And then the way I connected this, I'm going to move around here to this side a little bit where we can get a little better look at this. But the way I mounted this grinder, and to hold it on here, I used this ratchet strap right here. I got this little ratchet strap going over it. I added this little block of wood in here. It's a piece of 1.5 by 1.5 block right there to make it where to keep this all tight. And it's just super tight on there. So it holds it in there, and it won't go anywhere in the saw. And if you look down through there, you can see that I've got plenty of clearance in there for my chain. It won't hit anything between those two pillars down there. So that all worked out real good. And then over here on this side, this here is my electrical box. And down here is my foot pedal. This is my foot pedal to operate it. I've got it on this screw to keep it so when I move it, I don't have to worry about all this. But this top, let's see, where am I? Yeah, here I am. Okay, this one right here, I'm going to pull it out. This right here is what I plug into my extension cord. And I keep it plugged in there just so it won't be dangling and get into anything. Now this here is coming off the grinder. Now I've wrapped all these cords up here. I've wrapped them all around here. And I'm going to get me some zip ties and zip tie them together so that they won't be dangling everywhere. And when I'm not using the saw, well, then I take this plug that goes into my extension cord and I plug it back into that top plug like that. And that way, it's not going to be in any trouble of getting into anything or getting broke or any of that. So I keep it all in there like that, and then it's all secure. But anyway, that's the way I put this little saw together, and I'm waiting on this sprocket. And when I get the sprocket, well, then I'll make a video once I get it set up and get it running. I'll make a video of it actually cutting the sumac and maybe some logs. Now that, like I said, that little Remington worked good until the plastic gears gave out in it. And I really didn't run it that hard, but I bought it used at a garage sale. I gave $10 for it at a garage sale. And I got my $10 worth. I tore the little electric saw apart. I tore it apart thinking I could get the motor out of it, but you can't. It's all molded into the saw itself, so you can't get. But anyway, I'm not worried about it. I got my $10 worth of use out of it, so I was happy about that. But anyway, for it being 1 degree, and I've got it up to almost 80 degrees in my cabin, just off of my little rocket stove. Now it's getting a true test. It's getting a true test of what it's able to do and keep things. I don't have my extension on there. I didn't put my extension on it. Didn't add to, because I'm here and I'm getting me something to do and babysit it a little bit, and kind of take care of it. You see that bar on there, or clamp, my tack that I had my door had it tacked on there. Well, anyway, the tack broke or whatever. So I just did it with that. And when it gets warmer, well, I'll tack that door back on there. But I mean, it still works. I can still close it like that. So it still works. But I don't run this stove after I go to bed. Like in the evening time, I'll fill it up and let it burn down. And then I'll turn on I've got two of those little heaters right there. And I'll turn them on, and they work me through the night. They keep me warm through the night. But this is the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I get this thing started, and then I make my morning tea. But it keeps everything going. But that window's still not going to let us. I'm going to open my door. I'll show you out here. It's bright. My gosh, it's bright out here. My Lord, my Lord. It's even hurting my eyes. This is all the snow we've got. And the wind, you can look. The trees are moving a little bit. It's cold outside. I have no desires to go out there. I will have to. Here in a little bit, I'll have to go out and feed my chickens and my rabbits and take care of all their needs for the day. But I sure don't want to have to. That's the only thing about having animals, though. You got to be responsible for them and take care of them. But anyway, out here's where I've been cutting that sumac, and you can see out there where I'll cut it all back, and I'll get it all out of here. And this is that 2.5 over here that I'm going to get cleaned up this year. And I'm really ready to. I'm making a big headway. There's a pile of sumac laying there on the ground. The snow's about to cover it up, though. I'd say we've got, I don't know, my porch is I don't know, 5 or 6 inches, I guess my porch is. Maybe that, and the snow looks like it's up. Oh, I'd say maybe we got 4 inches of snow out here. Maybe 4 inches. I don't know. I got it all over here on these here. You can kind of see more, like back there on that cooker and stuff. You might be able to see a little bit better. But anyway, I know we've got plenty, but they're saying we're supposed to have some more. And we're beating all kinds of records here in Oklahoma. We're setting all kinds of records for lows and most amounts and all that. You know, when I was a kid growing up, we used to get some pretty good snowfalls back in those days too, but and I thought we always had a lot of snow back when I was a kid. But they're saying that this one's setting records, so I don't know about it all. Don't really care. As old as I am, all I want to do is just stay warm and stay dry and have plenty to eat. But anyway, well, everyone, I'm going to get off here. But as I always say, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And share it with others. Give me a like. Hit my notification bell. And as I always say, have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.